Welcome back to the FSAirlines tutorial series. Today we're going to discuss part 2 of the automated pilot feature. In the first section, we gave you a quick idea on how to get up and running with the automated pilots. Now today we're going to go through a little more detail on schedules and how to set those up with your flight plans, and talk about some other things we didn't talk about in the first part, the layover expenses when your pilots are out of town, as well as the random situation generator. So let's get started with the schedules. I use dedicated flight routes. I do not use common flight routes that human pilots can fly, because if your human pilot takes a flight route and it's the only route from point A to point B that's also in a schedule, then your automated pilot will be stuck with no flight to fly. One thing also we'll get into, and I'll show you here once we get in the program, is that you want to make sure you have all the same days in your schedule. For some reason, it doesn't like to jump around days too much. So if you want your guy to fly, say, Monday through Friday, then all your flights should be Monday through Friday in that schedule. Also, the arrival and depart times matter. You can set it two different ways. You can set it UTC time, or you can set it local time. If you set it local time, you're going to have to adjust for time zones. So that's just one thing to consider. Also, the estimated times in the schedule do not match the actual flight times. They're actually about, I'd say about 75% short. So if it says it's going to take 3.38 hours to fly that day, it's probably going to take them closer to 5, because there's variables that are not figured in the estimator. Also, autopilots are unaffected by real-world situations like weather, traffic. If whatever you have in your sim going, those autopilots are unaffected by those. So let's get started with making a schedule. We'll get into the program. We'll go to the cruise center. And now you come over here to flight plan. And then on the right over here, there's a schedule list. Now, if you don't have any schedules, this will be blank. In fact, let me show you how you can get rid of schedules. You click on that little I, and then you just delete the entire schedule. And it will ask you to confirm it, and you say yes. And that schedule's now deleted. Now, you cannot click on one, hold the shift bar, and highlight them all. You have to do them one at a time. So we're just going to delete all these schedules to make this simple, because I don't have any pilots flying on a schedule right now. And let me get that done. I'll pause this video so you don't have to watch me delete each one of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Our schedule list is now cleared. So we are going to create a schedule. But now, before you create a schedule, you actually are going to need flight plans to put in that schedule. So we're going to go to flight plan. And I've taken out all of my autopilot flight plans. So what I normally do is I will have a different designator for my autopilot flight plans, and they will be put into a special automated fleet so that human pilots can't get them. So we're going to go insert route. Then we're going to go this is going to be a Las Vegas autopilot schedule. So we're going to go, for me, it's going to be Las Vegas autopilot. AP 101. And then we want to set up a winter ski schedule. So we're going to go from Las Vegas to Aspen. And we want to leave at, when it comes to setting up your stuff by time, it's over here in VA settings. And it's right here, scheduled time zones, local time zone, or UTC. I'm running local just because I seem to like complications in my life. So UTC is probably the easiest way to go, because then you don't have to worry about your times between your flights, your arrival and your next departure, because everything is on the same clock. You're not having to worry about time zones. Okay, so once you have your time zone set, then you can go back and work on your flights. So we're going to insert a route. We're going to go LV AP 101, Las Vegas. To Aspen. We're going to leave at 6:30 in the morning, Las Vegas time. And we figure, now if you want to figure out how to determine some distances when you're doing flight routes, I'll show you a really good link. So just stand by here for a second. This is a freeware program called FSXmap.com. And it's got a nice measuring feature here. So we can come from Las Vegas up here to Aspen. That's Eagle. There's Aspen. And we can see that it is 436.43 nautical miles direct, which is, by the way all autopilots fly. They will not fly by any route you may put in the flight route. They will ignore that just as much as they ignore the weather. So in a CRJ, we can figure that will probably take about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, somewhere in there. So if we allow an hour 30 to be safe, then we can give ourselves some leeway. So we're back in our other screen. 6:30, hour and a half. Let's say at 7:30, we're going to get into Aspen at 8 Las Vegas time. However, Aspen is on Mountain Time and Vegas is on Pacific Time, so we need to add an hour. So it's actually going to get there at 9 o'clock. This is where if you're using UTC, it's much better. Now, we want to go weekends, but we need to have our guy to have some days off, so we're going to give him Monday and Tuesday off. The route means absolutely nothing, so don't even bother. This is going to be a CRJ 700 route. And we want it to be in the Las Vegas automated fleet only. We insert our route. We can set our prices. We can see Fly Vegas has a price already of $155. So we're just going to match that price. Pricing on flight routes is another entire video. I should probably make someday, but it really doesn't matter. You can jack your prices up a little bit, but if you get to the point to where you're charging exorbitant rates, people are not going to want to fly on your airline. Okay, so now we know this is where having a notebook is handy. We went from Vegas to Aspen, 6:30 to 9 o'clock local. Now we're going to allow an hour turnover time for to deplane, refuel the airplane, board new passengers, etc. So now we're going to go back to Las Vegas, KASE to KLAS. We're going to leave at 10 o'clock local time. I think the system will give you a warning. We'll see that in the schedule. if your departure times are too close to your previous arrival times. So 10:30, 11:30 Colorado time, which would be 10:30 Las Vegas time. Like I said, it's much easier just to use UTC, but I'm kind of a stubborn cuss and I do it the way the real airlines do it with local time, which makes it all very confusing for everybody. If it's not confusing, then it's not realistic. Las Vegas automated, we know it was $155. Okay, so that gives us our first two legs of the day. So now we know we're back in Las Vegas at 10:30 in the morning. We're going to take another hour break. We're going to depart at 11:30. But this time we're going to fly over to, I think we're going to go to Mammoth Lakes, California. That's another really nice ski resort. Las Vegas to Mammoth Lakes. That's a quick little trip of 199 nautical miles. So we'll allow about 45 minutes for that. Well, even though it's only going to take about a half hour. So if we leave at 11:30, we'll get there at 12:15 because we're in the same time zone. And then we can also look right here on fsxmap.com and see it's KMMH. So we come up with a new route. LVAP 103 KLAS KMMH. We're leaving at 11:30. We're arriving at 12:15. This is the time-consuming part of autopilots, is setting up your flight routes and your schedules. And I'm trying to make this as quick as I can, but sometimes things aren't always that quick. Let's see. Pacific Air International's charging 116, 83, 38. Let's undercut them by $1. Okay, and then we're going to insert one more route. We're going to fly back. KMMH, KLAS. Okay, now what time did we arrive? 12:15. This is only going to be a 45-minute turn, so we're going to leave at 1300. And we'll be back at, let's say, 13:45. This is all just rough guessing. You actually have to wait for your automated pilots to fly these routes, and then you can adjust the times accordingly. Whoops, do you see what I skipped? All fleets, that should be Las Vegas automated. It's very easy to go fast and to skip something, so. And we'll go 115 again. Okay, so now we've got 4 legs for the day, so let's come up to make a schedule. We want to create a schedule right up here in the right-hand corner. We want to know what fleet it's coming out of. Las Vegas automated. What aircraft? The CRJ 700. The starting airport is Las Vegas. Then we hit continue. Now, there's our first route right here, LVAP. We select that. We create a schedule. Now, if any of you noticed, I did not name the schedule. I'll show you how you can fix that in Edit. So now we've got our first leg of the day, Las Vegas to Aspen, 6:30 to 9. And now this is showing that we can leave. If you'll notice, there's a flight also already in the system for human pilots that's leaving at 9:30. But we're going to take this flight that we just made that leaves at 10. Now you notice it's highlighted. It says the flight departs within 90 minutes of arrival, so it's a quick turn. Add a schedule leg. So now we have 2 legs in our schedule. And now we want to go to Eagle. But I don't see where our Eagle 102 flight is. So something has happened with our 102 flight. So we are going to go back to flight plan. And find out what happened to our Las Vegas Autopilot 102. Or 103. Oh, we're going to Mammoth Lakes. That's right. Duh, I forgot. I've been flying Aspen Eagle for so much that I just totally spaced that we went to Mammoth instead of Eagle. Okay, so now we interrupted our schedule, so we can come here and we can just click on the eye. And we can add a schedule leg right here. We can also, at this point, edit the schedule. We want it to automatically repeat. And we want to name this Winter Ski Season 1. So we can update that. Okay, now we can add a new leg. And we're going to Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth Mountain, where are we? Here we are, Mammoth Lakes, right here. Add a schedule leg. And then it gives us our return leg right here. We can add that. And now we can see estimated time. This pilot is going to be flying 3.68 hours per day times 5 days a week. But if we understand that that estimate is actually about 25% short, I'm getting out my little calculator here. 3.68 times 25%. We got to add another hour. So it's about 20 hours a week, which is about 80 hours a month, which is just about right, somewhere in there. So we are then going to leave that schedule alone, and we are going to assign this pilot. Oh, by the way, we laid off our pilot we hired in our last session, so I had to hire a new one. So instead of Monroe, it's now Mesquite, Mr. Audubon Mesquite. We're going to assign him a schedule. Now, if you notice, for some reason, this has popped up 2. We want to start it on the first leg. The reason it has popped up 2 is because the time of the day, we could actually pick this schedule up where it left off in the day, but we're just going to select that. And we're going to schedule this pilot. So he will not start any of these legs today. He will start tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning local time. And then he will just keep flying those 4 routes 5 days a week, and you can monitor his progress as we go. So that's how we schedule an automated pilot. And then if we go to the overview in our pilot list, we will see that he is ready to go and he is scheduled. Now, one thing you cannot do is if a pilot is on a schedule, you cannot book a flight on his day off. We will tell you he's on a schedule. That's not happening. I mean, you can try. Unless Joe's changed this. Oh, see, this is letting you take off ASAP to Aspen right now if you wanted to. So that's a new change that I haven't noticed. So you could actually get this pilot flying right now, but then you would have to monitor him, and we're not going to do that. what the heck? Let's do it and see what happens. Select packages, just like we did in our first session. There's plenty of packages going to Aspen today. Okay, now if we come to Overview and we come to Pilot List, we can see he's now booked. So he is going to go fly to Aspen here shortly. Even though he's late on his schedule, he's going to go to Aspen right now. So that's a new trick that I haven't seen before, and that's pretty cool. So that is how you set up schedules for automated pilots. We went through yesterday how to book them directly, and I just wanted to get into creating flight plans and showing you how to do the schedule in a little more detail today. So that takes care of the schedule parts. Now, pilot layovers. Every time your pilot stays overnight, your fleet that he is in is going to be charged $200 hotel fee. I'll show you where that is in our transactions. I had a couple guys stay overnight recently. Right here. Hotel expenses, $200 per pilot. So every night they're out of town, the fleet is going to get billed $200 for their hotel expenses. And you always want to check your pilot's happiness score. The pilot list is like a scoreboard summary sheet. As you can see that all my automated pilots are just happy as can be. So that's a good thing. Now, new pilots, because they haven't flown, they will have a new pilot bonus. We go to their logbook, and you'll see in their happiness score, they haven't made any money, they haven't flown, but there's a new hire bonus. So as the days go on, this new hire bonus will go down to give them time to build up flying time and income. So that's how that works. And again, once remembered, your pilots can only fly 10 hours in any 24-hour period, and they can only fly 100 hours in 28 days. Those rules do not apply to human pilots because most of us have a life, and we jam a lot of flying in a very short period of time because that's all we have. So that takes care of the pilots and the hotel expenses and their happiness score. You can also transfer a pilot. Let's say for some reason somebody stole his airplane and he's stranded somewhere. Well, you can come to your pilot profile, and right here where it says transfer pilot, you can send him anywhere around the world just like you do yourself with a buy ticket. There's a bunch of quick links, but yeah, you can buy a ticket and move your pilots around just like you can move yourself around in FSAirlines. So that takes care of how to transfer pilots. You can also assign a pilot a new home base. For example, if I did not get the base right for our new pilot, we could come here and just change the pilot base. And again, we can change the home airport to either Detroit or Saginaw. I'm wondering why this has changed. It used to be you could just type in any base you wanted. It must be where I have offices. I'm just guessing. This is kind of new, so I don't know. I'm thinking that you can only have a home base where you have a home office. That makes sense. So if you don't have any home bases, and you're like, okay, what's a home base? Come to fleets. Fleets, come in. My Southwest Division, which is my main fleet, has the headquarters in Las Vegas. It also has a shop in Detroit. And then my Great Lakes fleet has a little office in Saginaw. So that's why your automated pilot in this particular airline could only go to either to Saginaw or Detroit, because that's the only places I have offices or service centers. So you can't just send off a pilot, an automated pilot, to a base that you don't have. So in other words, I can't send this pilot to, say, Los Angeles unless I go over to Los Angeles and establish an office. So that's a new little wrinkle that I think is a good one when it comes to assigning pilots home bases. Random generator. Your pilots are not perfect, believe it or not. It's true. It's true. I've got a pilot that, let's see, who was it? I think it was no, it wasn't him. I had a pilot that had a anomaly, and I'll show it to you if I can find it again. Of course, it'd be the last guy I'd pick. Yep, right here. See this? He had a 95, or he had an 80 to 99 rating. We're going to go find out what that's all about. So what we do is we go to his logbook, and we come down to the flights in this aircraft. And there's a 95% right there. We look at the flight report, and we can see that he was speeding under 10,000 feet. So he got a system-generated 5% ticket for speeding. So those kind of things happen. Their landing rates may vary. Sometimes they'll have a hard landing, but usually they're right around 200, which is pretty standard. One thing about automated pilots, there are no black box details, no route details, because it's all auto-generated. So those two features do not apply to automated pilots. Okay, I'm just getting a little long here. So, the other thing is, if the aircraft in question is not maintained, we talked about that in the last session, automated pilot may end up with flaps failure, engine failure, etc., and may run into a whole lot more issues. So let me wrap this up. Sorry it took so long. If you get stuck, get on the FSAirlines forum. We have a whole section over there in the new features and ideas on the automated pilot section. So thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me. And I hope this helped a little bit. Have a great day. Keep the blue side up.